My name is Norvisi, and I'm the creator of Vision with V, which is a goal-setting and vision journal for ambitious African women. I also host the video series Reflections by Vision with V, where I bring a number of accomplished women around the table to just discuss different issues. So today I'm here to sit and share some of my random thoughts about different topics related to career and business and even life. So these are my reflections.
The makeup is nice though.
For me, my first goal was to find a new role. I was very specific. I wanted a new role within SI&A, which is the department I work in, Strategic Insights and Analytics. I also wanted to stay within Danone, my current company, and I wanted a role outside of the continent, specifically in France. I was really specific, and that's actually the first goal that I wrote. I assumed that I've been working on it for a while, so I assumed that it was going to happen, God willing, end of the year. But thanks to God and my hard work, I'm a little uncomfortable owning it, but I have to take my own advice. So, thanks to my hard work, my perseverance, but also ultimately God and right timing, I was able to get this done at the beginning of the year. And by the time you watch this, I will be in my new role in Paris. So that's something that I'm very proud of. I had 3 other goals because I really believe in keeping your goals lean and focused. So I usually only set 4 main goals in a year. So that was my first goal. I also had a Vision with V goal, obviously, to push the commercial part of Vision with V, but also record a number of Reflections by Vision with V episodes. And so far, I think I've done really well. That's one of the things I've done very well on. I've been very consistent with the planning and the execution. I've had a lot of fun in the process. It's also been very hectic. They say don't believe everything you see on social media. The final video is always very crisp and clean and smooth, but the behind the scenes is, it's usually very chaotic. Anyone who's been to Reflections by Vision with You will tell you it takes a lot of planning, it takes a lot of work, but we have a lot of fun in the process. So that's something that I'm hoping to keep doing, especially if I can afford it, because it's an expensive production. But otherwise, yes, I'm very proud of what we've done so far with Reflections by Vision with V. We hope that it's inspiring, all the people who are watching it, and it's something I'm very proud of. In terms of Vision with V itself, we've sold over 400 journals. We're inching towards 450, especially at the end of the year and at the beginning of the year. We sold quite a lot of journals, which makes a lot of sense because a lot of people were gifting. It's become a favorite gift of a number of people, and they keep coming back for more because it's really a meaningful gift that you can give to, any female in your life, your sister, your wife, your colleagues. Shout out to my boss who has made sure that for the last year he has gifted every single woman who has ever worked in our team, our marketing team, a Vision with V journal. So props to him. We love a supportive boss. So yes, there's been that. And I mean, what I love about Vision with V is how far and wide it has gone. So we've got people ordering from the UK, parts of Europe, the US, parts of Africa. We've got Vision with V sitting in people's homes in South Africa, in Ivory Coast, in Togo, in Benin, in Nigeria, in Mali. We've got quite a number of Vision with V, in Senegal, and a number of countries around the world. So that has really been amazing. I didn't mention Dubai. Yes, we've got Vision with V in Dubai as well, and I just love how I get all kinds of messages from around the world, people sending me photos of their Vision with You journals and showing me, telling me what they love about it. And that's really, really fulfilling. So that was Vision with V and Reflections, where, my second goal was centered on Vision with V and Reflections. And my last two goals are personal. I have not achieved those two yet, but for the third one, I would say I am about halfway there. I would say maybe like a 55% there. And the fourth one doesn't depend on me as much, depends more on God, but I'm doing everything within my power to make sure that when God is ready to bless me, I'm ready for that blessing. Oh, I think it's mixed feelings because, I think it's been about 6 years since I moved back from Ivory Coast. It's been, I moved back from Ivory Coast in, I think, August or July 2019. I had moved back the year before from Senegal, and I thought I was going to stay here, and then I moved again, and then I came back. And I think that there's something that Ghana does for me that is hard to explain. There's a certain familiarity that just warms my heart. I think most people who live abroad or, who've had to relocate for whatever reason, it's hard to explain, but there's just something that you get from being in Ghana or living in Ghana that you probably do not get anywhere else you go, no matter how you feel about the move, right? So we're excited about the move, but I definitely have some anxiety because obviously new country, new business unit, new role. Now I'm also older. When in my 20s, I would literally just pack up and go. But I think being older, it's a bit different. And also having a family. When I say family, it's just my husband. So yeah, I'm excited because it's new beginnings. I love progress. I love growth. I'm open to change, but there's definitely some anxiety because I'm leaving my comfort zone. And by comfort zone, I mean my family, the people I love, my mom, my siblings, my nieces, the people that the things that keep me really grounded and safe. I'm leaving that. I'm also leaving my routines, the things I love to do, the places I love to go. So I am a bit, it's almost like you're happy, but you're also, you're kind of grieving the fact that you're going away. Obviously, Ghana is home, so I don't think that I'm one of those people who's like, hey, I'm jackpotting forever. No, it's not. That's not how I look at it. But, I am happy. I'm also going to a place that I used to call home. France is not a completely, new territory to me. I lived there in 2010, from 2010 to 2011, but I'm going at a different stage in my life when I have more responsibilities. So I don't know if I've answered the question well enough, but I'm excited. I'm excited by the prospects. I'm excited by the growth and the fact that I'm going to be doing new things, learning new things. But I also am grieving the fact that I'm leaving a little. The reason why I like journaling is that I think that sometimes we have a lot of thoughts, journaling helps you kind of clarify what is going on in your mind, right? So that's how I use journaling. When I'm stressed, I journal. When I'm angry, I journal because sometimes I don't even understand how I'm feeling and I want to just write it out. When I write it out, there's something, it's almost like I dump whatever is going on in my head on a paper and then I just have clarity. And that even helps me take a decision after. But also in Vision with V, there's an entire section for planning, which for me is the first thing, right? At the beginning of the year, I spend quite some time sitting down with myself, asking myself what I want to achieve, and then I use the goal setting and planning section to document that. Yeah, I think that journaling is very, very valuable, right? And I'm not a psychologist, but from my own research and even talking to therapists, they always suggest journaling as a way to cope with stress, as a way to unpack your own feelings, as a way to just chronicle what's going on in your life. When I read some of my journals from 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago, it's very, very insightful because I look at some of the things that I thought were going to literally ruin my life, and I laugh because I'm like, wow, I actually got through that. And that perspective actually helps me understand that everything is going to be fine. All the things that I'm worried about today, they're not going to matter in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. And another thing is that I also look back at some of my journals. I read my old journals a lot, and I look at some of the things I wrote down that I was going to do. I have actually done every single one of them, except the ones that don't depend on me. They depend, on God. Apart from those ones, every other thing that I said I wanted to do, I have done, and it's really mind-blowing to me. So that encourages me because I'm like, if I keep, doing what I'm doing, if I keep planning, write my goals, work on it. I don't just write the goals. I write the goals and I also write actionable steps, how I'm going to get it done. I'm able to do it. And I also make sure that when I have wins, when I achieve these goals, I still go back into my journal and I write about it. And that kind of keeps me going. That makes me feel like I can literally achieve anything that I want to do. Sometimes I even write some of my crazy ideas. I write random things that I want to do in the future, business ideas. It's almost like a wish list, more like a wish list than a goal. And then at some point, those things on the wish list kind of evolve into my goals. And then I end up achieving those goals. And then I document those wins. And then a couple of years down the line, I look back and I'm like, wow, so I actually achieved this thing that I thought was completely far-fetched. So for me, that's how journaling works for me. In Vision with V, I think we've taken a step further by including stories of women in our society. And the reason I did that was that in the past, I always felt like, am I the only one going through these issues? Like when I'm dealing with something at work or even in my everyday life, am I literally the only one going through that issue? But when I talk to other women, I realize that we're all going through it all. We're all suffering. Life is life for all of us. And so for me, having a journal that has all of these stories, when I'm writing my goals, when I'm documenting my wins, when I'm just chronicling things that happen in my day, and I get to a section where I read one of the women's stories, it's kind of a reminder to me that I'm on the right path and other women are dealing with some of the things I'm going through. Some people are even dealing with worse things. So it kind of encourages me. And that's not to say that they're not only writing about the bad things or the difficult or challenging things that happen in their life. They're also writing about some of their wins and some of the good things that happen. So that perspective helps me, it kind of pushes me to keep going. I think I've said numerous times, either when I'm being interviewed or on social media, that men actually buy a lot of the journals. True, some of them are buying for their partners, their sisters, their teammates, but there are also people who've bought for themselves because they like the content in it. Knowledge is knowledge. There was a guy who ordered the book, and because of one reason or another, I ended up having to speak to him. And I just said, hey, just out of curiosity, are you buying this for your partner? And he said, no, I'm buying it for myself. Yes, I didn't design this for men, I designed it for women, but knowledge is knowledge, right? The women who are featured in the book, they are still accomplished women who have worked for several years, and their experiences can still inspire men, right? I can't say, I don't know if I have the capacity or the authority to create a journal that is destined for men, unless I partner with a man, because I don't know if I understand, the African man's experience enough to create an authentic journal for him, and at Vision with You, we're all about authenticity. We want to keep it real. So who knows, maybe in the future I will partner with with a man to do that. But I think the bottom line is that journaling is a really healthy practice. You know, it's something that helps you really understand yourself. It helps you a lot with self-awareness. And if you have a goal-setting journal, all the better, because then you can also plan your goals well, achieve them, document them. If you have issues, you can unpack those issues in the journal and also write the actions that you're going to take to resolve those issues, so that at the end of the day, you are able to achieve your goals. I think it's really good for our mental health to journal. And I think this applies to both men and women. I really think that Vision with V has done a lot better than I expected, especially when I look at it from the impact point of view. I'm always so touched and emotional when I receive messages from visionaries telling me what Vision with V has done for them. And the stories are similar, but some of them are also very different. People are going through all kinds of things, and to think that they would open Vision with V and they can relate with, someone's story in the journal, or the fact that Vision with V has helped them to really reflect on how their year has been, or that Vision with V has kind of enabled them to set goals for the very first time. I hear all kinds of very refreshing stories about Vision with V, and I think that really fuels me. It makes me feel like all the work I put in, all the late nights, it makes me feel like it was worth it. So I've enjoyed working on this project. It's been stressful sometimes, but I mean, nothing good comes easy, right? So I've really enjoyed working on it, and in terms of what I envisage for Vision with V, I'm kind of going with the flow. I know that obviously I want to do a second edition, and I'm working on a second edition. It's taken a lot longer than I had planned, but I'm also giving myself grace because, to be fair, I think I do too much. Balancing a full-time job, my home responsibilities, Vision with V, and some of the other projects I work on, sometimes it's quite a lot. So I'm giving myself grace, and I'm trying not to rush through the process of just creating a second edition because I have to create a second edition. I want to make sure that by the time I'm done creating the second edition, I would even have more people buying it and being excited about it just as much as they were excited about the first one. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I don't know what else is going to come up. Yeah, I think Vision with V has also obviously opened some doors for me, because Vision with V is something that really aligns with my values, right? And so I was sharing with a group of women recently that when someone invites me to participate in an event or speak at an event or on a podcast, the moment they say, okay, we want to talk about women and progress, I'm like, okay, yeah, count me in. And I think that these things have always been my values, but now Vision with V has kind of brought it to life. I think it's kind of made it more concrete, and that's something that I'm very grateful for. So yes, I mean, happy anniversary to Vision with V. It's been 1 year. I don't know where the time went. I'm very happy with how it's done. I'm very excited. I'm happy that it has really fueled me. It's breathed life into me. And interestingly, I also think that doing Vision with V has made me even better at my corporate job. And the reason why I say that is, in the past, I was putting too much pressure on my corporate job to give me all of the fulfillment in the world. But to be honest, I have found that fulfillment in my own passion projects, and that has in turn, re-energized me for my everyday work. And that's something that has been very, like a light bulb for me. I shared in a workshop at the beginning of the year that I was told that I'm not visible, right? When I started looking for my new role, that's one of the toughest feedback I got, that I'm not visible. I was like, me? Not visible? I thought everyone sees me. I thought everyone knows what I'm up to, but apparently not. So what I realized is that visibility is not about personality. It's not about being loud everywhere. It's about, do people know you for the things you want to be known for, right? You have to be intentional about it. For whatever outcome that you want, you need to be intentional about consistently showing up in a way that people know you for something, right? People are talking a lot about personal brand these days, and I think that it all comes into the visibility conversation, right? What are you known for? What are the things that, the traits that you want to highlight about yourself, about your work, and how are you highlighting it in a way that the right people know you, or you come to mind when they think of that thing, right? I think when it comes to visibility as well, you need to be very consistent, because the fact that truly you start showing up as yourself, or you start highlighting certain values about yourself or work you're doing, it doesn't mean that it's going to pay off tomorrow morning, right? But for it to be very authentic, you need to model those behaviors consistently, so that eventually when people start looking for someone in a specific field, they think of you. So that's what I think. I don't think that visibility is a personality trait and it's about being loud. I think it's really about being intentional and being strategic. So that's my hot take.